This right here is my Triumph Street Scrambler 900, and this is the Scrambler 1200. Let's see what the differences are and which one I would pick out of the pair. Alright then, so we've just finished test riding the Scrambler 1200X, and now we head off back home. And while we're going home, I thought there's only one thing to talk about, which is what one would I choose if I had all of the money in the world. Direct comparison, Scrambler 900 versus Scrambler 1200X. Now, hello. Now, if I had all the money in the world, which would be the bike that I'd want all the time? If I had to do this full time, if I was doing YouTube full time and I could only have one, which would I have and why? Would I give up the Scrambler 900 in favour for the bigger engine, or would I keep the 900 and just make do with its shortcomings? And let's go into the first thing that we should talk about. The first thing that we need to talk about is that engine power. Obviously there's a 300cc difference in the power. Now with this bike I can quite happily just chill and leave my legs nice and wide, not necessarily having to grip the tank that often in order to apply the power. Whereas on the 1200, if I wasn't gripping, I knew about it because I felt like it was trying to rip my arms off. It obviously wasn't. It is not the most powerful bike in the world, but it certainly has that extra oomph for the money, I'd say. So in terms of power, the Scrambler 1200 is obviously going to beat out the 900. It's a bigger cc engine. Now they do say that if you upgrade the crank in the 1200, you can get that same kind of power that you would from the 1200, or close to. Personally, would that be worth the money? By the time that you've gone ahead and done it, you're messing with timing and just it doesn't sit right with me. I won't lie, it doesn't sit right with me. In terms of riding style, they both kind of ride very similarly. It's a relaxed position and an upright position. I did feel slightly less aggressive on the 1200, and I think that's something to do with Triumph changing the bar placement or how they do their risers, because I did notice a substantial difference to how much I felt like I definitely felt more upright, and I definitely felt like I had more control over the bike. And it didn't feel as heavy as the 900 does at slower speeds, and I wonder if that was slightly a better purchase on the bike, or on the bars, sorry. So in terms of the position and the upright feel, they're both very similar. It is going to be down to personal preference on that one, which one you would find slightly better. They both have that recognizable Triumph Scrambler styling of the high pipe and the exhaust. Now my only thing would be, if I had to choose one, I had to kind of make one my daily bike for the rest of my life in this fictitious situation that I've just made up. I'd need to know what exhaust options they were available before I could make the decision. If Free Spirit said a H-pipe for the 1200, yeah, because the cap needs to be deleted, and you need some kind of a slash cut option, I think personally, in order to get the most out of the sound. But if those kind of options are available, happy days. There's no reason why the 1200 wouldn't be an amazing daily bike. On top of that, you've got to consider what you're going to be doing with the bike. Now for the applications that I use the bike for mainly, which is a lot of motorway miles, the occasional pillion and some light off-roading, I think I would benefit from the higher ground clearance of the 1200 in terms of the off-roading element. When it comes to When it comes to the taking of a pillion, it's got a bench seat, which is a lot better in my opinion for when you've got a pillion on the back. That extra room for them, rather than the tiny little dinner plate that my Triumph has for its pillion seat. Which, again, personal preference, which one you prefer. Check in with your backpack to find out which one they prefer. Mine absolutely hates the pillion seat on the Triumph 900. Is what it is. In terms of motorway mileage, I think the extra gear from the Scrambler 1200, the fact it's got a 6th gear, is just so nice. It is so nice. It sits a lot nicer at motorway kind of speed from that little brief test ride that I had. Again, I don't know what it's actually like on the motorway. I didn't quite get out that far, but I know for a fact that I would have enjoyed the extra oomph from the 6th gear for while being on a motorway. Hopefully the audio's been a little bit better in this video. I noticed a lot of wind noise on the exhaust mic, so I've tried a different placement. If it's worked, please let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, when it comes to 1200, I think, unfortunately, I hate to say it, I think that it really is you get much more bike for the money with the 1200, and that's not just me like fanboying over the fact that I've ridden the 1200. It really is a noticeable difference, and you don't feel as if, like, when it comes to braking on the 9, it's like a single, yes, it's a single Brembo front caliper, and it is good, and it has a lot of performance when it comes to stopping, but you cannot be twin rotors. Like, every time I tap the brake, I notice the speed drop off instantly. That's me tapping the brake, and it's very ever so slight. You have to get a bit of a decent amount of brake pull in order to slow this bike down to the same effect as what I noticed with a slight brake pull on the 1200. When it comes to the extras and all of the different things that you can do to it, they're both very similar. They've both been established for a little while now, and all of like the extras that you can get for the 900 you can pretty much pick up for the 1200. You can buy the engine dresser bars, which are, again, beautiful things. You could get that little strip, which looks awful on the 1200. You get that deleted out if you really wanted to. You can get bar busters. You can't get a direct mount brake reservoir, as far as I'm aware. I'd have to check. You can definitely get this number plate though. I've seen that kicking around, and I think that's dead smart. I like that. You can probably pick up a 1400 quad lock attachment like I've got here. It really is, like, in terms of market, the market for the Scrambler 9 and 1200s, they're really established. There's so many things that you could do to this bike. You could turn it into absolutely anything you wanted. It's just a shame that the suspension isn't as looked after on the 900 as on the 1200. If they did release a Scrambler 900 XC, I think you could be on for a winner. Really could be on for a winner, because the only thing that this bike is let down by is the fact that it is quite low. The rear brake's in the wrong place. That's another win for the 1200, by the way. The fact that the rear brake's in the correct place, which is above the swing arm, so if you do accidentally hit the swing arm off a log or something while off-road, you're not going to take the rear caliper off and then have no rear brake. You see, and you can do it to this. You can move that rear caliper, but why should you have to? Why should you have to move that rear caliper when it could come as standard? And it was one of the things that I was hoping they would change on the new 900, and they haven't. Triumph, if you're watching this video, please do me a favour. Make an XE, make an XE, make an XE or an XC of the 900, and you would have one of the best platforms that you could make. Because right now, the 900, it needs some love. Like, you did listen, and you did update the 900, but we could really do with a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Yeah, so I guess let's talk about it then. So the kind of riding that I do and the kind of thing that I would want this bike for, if I could only have one, if I could only have a 12 or a 900, which would it be and why, kind of thing. I do a lot of motorway miles, so I'd need heat grips, and the addition of cruise control, which comes from the 1200 XC, that's pretty mega, and I don't think you can't really grumble at that at all. It's one of those things that you would use it more than you thought when you had it, and you would definitely notice it on those longer motorway journeys. It would be really nice. We interrupt this broadcast for a brief filtering session because this is ridiculous traffic. Welcome to Oxford, ladies and gentlemen, the place with a brand new congestion charge.
It's broad daylight. I won't even know.
Could have filtered around him. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, I do a lot of motorway riding, so I would definitely notice the benefit of cruise control and a 6th gear from the 1200. The bench seat gives you options for mounting some kind of luggage option, or whether it's a luggage rack to give you more space, or the 1200 offers in terms of that bench speed. It gives you a lot more space to mount gear. I wonder how the Lone Rider bag would kind of mount to that, as that's my current bag of choice, although again a bit small, but it does work for some of the adventures that I take it on. Or would I benefit from getting some kind of like pannier rack or luggage rack solution so that I could mount my gear behind and still take a pillion? Am I ever going to be in that kind of situation? I am not going to be able to stop that. Am I ever going to be in that situation where I need that extra space or that extra rack capacity, or is the little rack on my 900 enough space for me to use effectively, should we say? You see where I'm weighing up all this stuff. The extra height for off-roading from a 1200 would be amazing. The fact that it's got that high rear caliper, it gives you peace of mind more than anything. It's not the fact that I'm worried that I'm gonna hit the not the fact that I'm worried I'm gonna hit the rear brake, but if I ever did, I'd feel a lot safer knowing that it was higher up almost, which is really silly because does it really make that much of a difference? You know, it's all food for thought, and right now it's all kind of like sinking in. I'm getting more ideas the more I talk about it, which is one of the reasons I wanted to make this video. And then I think the amount of money that I've thrown into this bike in order to make it what it is today, would I ever want to give that up for something that's a little bit taller, a little bit better suspension, a different rear brake caliper? Or would I be better off keeping the money that I've made, keeping the money that I put into this bike, and keeping it, and using a little bit more money to correct things like the front suspension, putting in a progressive front fork, for example, with adjustment and some Fox shocks on the rear? Would that make all the difference and be the thing that I'm looking for in terms of an all-round machine? Would that make the difference? I'll be honest, it's so hard to decide, because if I say the 1200, all of the people that watch my channel because they love the Triumph Scrambler 900 are going to be like, what the what? This whole channel's founded around the Scrambler and now you want to sell it? And I love this bike, I really do. And I think, yeah, no. If I had to have one, I'm keeping this. I am keeping this, but it's so close. Like it would be completely day dependent. I absolutely love this bike to pieces, and I absolutely like I really like the Scrambler 1200 as well. The fact that it kind of ticks all the boxes and adds just a little bit more than what the 900 does. I don't think you can beat it. If you are looking to upgrade from a 900 to a 1200, I definitely recommend going and test ride one. It did have such a difference in terms of all like the power and how it felt to ride. It felt familiar but different, so I would really recommend going to check one out if you're looking to upgrade. I can see why so many people on social media have gone from the 900 all the way over to the 1200, because it is just so, like I say, familiar but different in a really nice way. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. I'm going to go get some petrol. Leave a comment down below of which one you would choose. Would you choose the 1200 or the 900? And tell me why as well. I hate these people that are in the comment section being like, oh, yawn. Yeah, sound mate, what's yawn about it? Give me some constructive feedback, please. That's all I'm asking for. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you aren't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.